Hello there everyone, Zantok here with Slickstar Gaming, and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So last time we got to investigate with some luminol testing fluid, and I believe it was aluminum powder for finding fingerprints, and what the result was? Well, Jake Marshall's bloody handprint in the evidence room, where the murder, or one of the murders, supposedly took place. That's suspicious as fuck. So let's find out what's going to happen next as we head back into the court. It's now February 24th at 9:41 a.m. Hello, Emma. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in two different... Oh, that's Lana speaking. Threw me off guard there. The victim was murdered in two different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at the other crime scene. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. Lana! God damn it! A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret. I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky. We discovered traces left by a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. You found Officer Marshall's traces? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to, Mr. Wright. Oh, you better believe that I will. Unfortunately, Edgeworth is also going to do what he has to, and so will the murderer, whether that's Jake, Lana, or someone else. Alright, 10 a.m., let's head in! The court is now in session for the trial of Ms. Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify, prosecutor. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach criminal affairs for the prosecutor's office. The victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edwards' car. Wow. This is one messed up trial. I know, right? One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I'll present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now, that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? I mean, yeah. Very well. Let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? I think Edgeworth was very clear in his language there. Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Oh, it's you! Yay! Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I am Officer Mike Meekin, sir. My occupation is... That would be murderer, sir. And a what? Meekins now. So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir.
Actually, what we'd like for you is...
Sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
Wow. That's just truthful for any generation. Whether you're mine, the one after, or whoever's watching this now. Wow. Good line, though. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Help me, sir. Officer Meekins.
Yes, sir.
Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order.
Yes, sir. As you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir.
You can't fault him for lack of enthusiasm. Alright, we get the crime report from Meekins.
Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So you're confessing. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you.
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Beacon sailing motto, sir.
I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination for whatever worth it is. What I need here is more info to work with. I mean, if Meekins wants to confess to everything, then Lana's off the hook, right? I mean, no skin off my back. Alright, so let's see what we can get out of him. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not?
Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah, that's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the head detective, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
I see. Sounds like a very, important mission.
After the awards ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? Alright, you spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed on in. I want to know more. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card. Am I correct?
Precisely, sir. I have one right here on my neck.
So then, your ID number should be listed in here, right?
There it is! I found it! This is the one, right here!
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir! It's 4989596! That's my number, sir!
I see. Huh. But the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir! The first time is when I relocated Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during that second time when?
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen.
Oh, Meekins, you troubled soul. So, you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir! A knife!
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then?
Well, when they tried to get on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was.
You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into.
That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand.
Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be...
When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar.
Okay, you fought for your life and then you did it. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it?
I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife?
I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
Okay. Must have been desperate.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then, the next thing I knew...
Yes?
He punched me right in my face, sir!
Okay, after that you passed out and you had to be woken up. Cool. About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious.
Ah, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. It's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand.
Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins?
With regard to that, sir. Take a look at this. It was sent to my cell. Chief Kent delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
Wait, hold on. The Chief of Police delivered evidence, video evidence, to the suspect.
What the fuck?
The Chief? Delivered it? What is that? A videotape?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
There's a what? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word, murder, sir. It scares me.
A video of a real murder? Just what are we getting ourselves into? Fucking Blue Badger, man. Oh! Alright. Something fell out of that safe. There's Meekins. We don't see Goodman's face, though. Oh! He definitely had a knife. Oh, shit. Ah, fucking camera. This is a terrible camera system. And, of course, we don't see what happened. Where the hell did Goodman go? He just vanished. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wiggling piece of plywood?
Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? I don't know, Phoenix. Why aren't you surprised? Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and some sort of activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins?
Yes, sir. As you wish, sir.
Can I object to that? I would like this video to be more important.
His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do.
That's a good point.
The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
Unless he has a twin, which I've been mentioning from the start. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker, equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but sure. But everything begins with contradictions. That's where I had to start. Okay. The face can't be seen, but you're so sure it's Goodman. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife?
Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe that would be classified as the latter?
The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you were the person who fought him, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir. But I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Even now, I'm looking just slightly to your left and not looking you in the eye.
Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer.
Still, I'm sure it was him. I'd pat my badge on it.
Okay, you're saying there's no question it was Goodman. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, you must label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or...
Meekins! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please, be more certain when you testify. Oh, wake up there, Edgeworth.
Yes, sir.
You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. Okay, he opened the locker that required Goodman's fingerprints. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them?
No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir.
I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my point, sir. And this too.
Unquestionably. Let's see. And how do you know that information?
I've heard rumors, sir. From people in the know, sir.
people in the know?
The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir.
I'm sorry, you have what? For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So, the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. It certainly seems that way. Hey, you're saying nobody else could have done it, but what about a twin? I am banking on this twin route thing. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face.
Sir! If I may say something, sir.
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Is there a problem with it? Probably? I mean, first of all, the blue fucking badge is in the way. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not be Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction. It does? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I had to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video.
How did this guy ever become a police officer? Nepotism. Now then, Mr. Wright, please, enlighten us. Where's the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Okay, so, let's watch this through. Wait a minute. Something strange here. Couple things, actually. Okay, Goodman's gone, Meekins is down. We pan back over. Okay. So, I'm going to point out what I see here as we see it. First of all, look, the light above that locker is already on. I'm pretty sure it was mentioned before that the light only turns on when it's unlocked. None of the other ones have a light on. So Goodman is going back over there, or supposedly Goodman, opens it, the light is already on. So it doesn't seem like he's having to do the prints for it. I also want to point your attention to the left right here. Look at the lockers. They're all closed, there's nothing wrong with them, right? We found something sticking out of the one of those lockers when we were in the evidence room. Something had fallen out of Goodman's locker when that person opened it. We're panning back over. Meekins is on the ground. Come back to the left. And now there's something sticking out of that locker. Whose locker is that? Okay, but the contradiction we need to point out is the light right here at this point. Because that shows that whoever opened it doesn't need to be Goodman, because it's already been unlocked. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins.
Sir, do you mean me, sir?
As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If the print matches the registered data, the light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this video. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, well, let's rewind to a little earlier, shall we? There we go. Here, notice the light. What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Did he just make a chicken noise? Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh, well, It just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor. Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Ms. Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the electronic system? Something jammed the sensor. Say, there's something else that seems to be out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked, Mr. Wright. Please point out the cause for us. Alright, so this time around, I'm fairly certain that we need to point out... Go ahead and fast forward a bit. Okay. Let's point out the thing that fell out. Because it seems like that could have been jamming of the sensor. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Oh wow, they stopped playing the Blue Badger music. I guess somebody got sick of it. A little suspicious, but okay. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir.
How? We can't be sure that item was in the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted? Say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times I get stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator of some kind. Yes, an insulator. But At the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description.
But sir, by insulator, you don't mean...
I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? Oh, it's a piece of evidence? Well, shit. Oh my god. The rubber glove. But wait, we saw it's being poked out through the evidence locker already, so it couldn't be the rubber glove, could it? I mean, I'll give it a shot. Oh, alright. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
Sir, it would appear so, sir.
Order, order! So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility, and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
Is this a joke? Very well. Begin your testimony. Mystery Man Part 2.
There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
That's... Yeah, that works out. Yeah. An ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim. Just before the crime? Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases. Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now, let's move on to the cross-examination. Okay, so we have to somehow prove that just because they had the ID doesn't mean that it was Goodman. Let's take a look at our court record here just for a second. We got our attorney's badge, Goodman's ID, the prosecutor trophy, the knife, the parking stub. When is the parking stub going to be useful? The blue badger, autopsy, the note, the cell phone, the floor plans, crime photo, victim shoe, switchblade, luminol, no, that's the ID record. The fingerprinting set, the screwdriver? Goodman's lost item report. Does it say what he lost? It's for an ID? Oh, no, that's his ID. Okay, it doesn't say the item lost. But what if it was his ID that was lost? And that's why he couldn't finish writing down his ID number. And then somebody could have used his ID to get in. I just put this in the wrong statement, didn't I? The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I can't see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I'll have to penalize you, Mr. Wright. Yeah, whatever. Let's get to the right statement here. To the evidence room, they have to use their ID card. When ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Oh, that was the last statement? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edward to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. Yeah, I'm getting there. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Or did he use it? Wait just one moment, Officer Meekins.
I'm not good at waiting, sir.
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Lost item report. It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order! Order! So, now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order! Order! Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That's... well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. Well, this isn't good. Well, it seems you've finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Redworth. The defense has already done the explaining? Pfft. Wow. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means the murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So, So, the real crime could only take place at one location: the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Ms. Lana Skye, the defendant. Ah, there's the rub. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. I mean, I wouldn't call it trustworthy, but okay. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekness encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? I will object. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing, and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Okay, what's your point? However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We had not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? Windy Oldbag. No, not really. It's Jake Marshall. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let him know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court in recess. Whew. Alright, 11:32 a.m. It's been an hour and a half since trial began. Almost fell into a trap, but we got out of it. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out, actually. I just had little breadcrumbs here and there. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma? You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Lana is just like, oh, saved by the gumshoe. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. Aw, poor Gumshoe. Oh, Detective Gumshoe. What is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. I don't remember calling you. You better be, pal. Hey, hey! Hey! I didn't see you there, Miss Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh, ho ho! Oh, ho ho ho! You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them. So I had them brought here. Here you go. You might do well to read them. I can't believe you. The chief prosecutor were a witness in that case. Miss Sky was a witness? Okay, we're getting close to the end of the episode here, so before we continue with the dialogue, I want to go ahead and look at these files. Files for the Dark killings, solved 2 years ago. Let's see here, there's 4 pages of this. It's a closed file. The criminal was Joe Dark, crime, serial murder, sentence, death. His victims were Edward Jones, Edith Kirby, Jeb Bates, Jason Knight, Rachel Moss, Neil Marshall. The head prosecutor was Miles Edgeworth, and the witnesses were Lana and Emma Sky. The investigation task force, the executive investigators were Damon Gant and Lana Sky, while the head investigator was Bruce Goodman, and the investigators under him were Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. Okay. Take it from me. You don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be... Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark... No... Lana! That's over with! No! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know, I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth? Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Alright, better take a good look at this case file. Oh boy. Alright everyone, that's going to be in today's episode. Next time around, we're jumping back into the court where Jake Marshall take the stand. I'll see you all then. Bye everyone.